Hello, welcome to our channel. Today we're going to talk about subtraction. For subtraction, today we're going to look at some shortcuts that you can use to subtract numbers. So for that, we're going back to the rules. So what are rules for subtraction? So let's look at some of them. So like in our previous video that we talked about rules for addition, now they are similar rules, but in this case they are reversed. Okay, so if you want to subtract 9, we recommend that you subtract actually 10 and add 1. So if you remember very well when we were talking about addition, it was that if you want to add 9, instead add 10 and then subtract 1. When we are subtracting, if you want to subtract 9, you actually then subtract 10 instead, but then add 1. So an example would be like, so 7, let's say 21 minus 9. So in this case, what you want to do is, first level is subtract 10, so 21 minus 10 gives you 11, and then add to that, add 1, so you have 12. If you're in a position to do this math in your head, like here you think, oh yeah, what should be, when you think about 21 minus 9, if you don't have a strategy, you may not be in a position to get it quickly. But if you think in your mind, you subtract 10, you have 11, then you add 1, you are done. If you want to do the same with 8, you just subtract 10, and in this case you add 2. An example would be, so 28, so let's say 21 minus 8. We take the same example like here. So what are we doing? We will say 21 minus 10 gives you 11, but in this case now we want to add 2, so that one gives you 13. So that gives you an easy way, and it's more to help you do mental maths. So the same way you do with 7, so for 7 you will subtract 7, you will less 10 and then add 3. For 6, the same, you will less 10, instead here add 4. You do that until, when you do 1, when you subtract 1, because when you subtract 1, you can as well add subtract 10 and then add 9 to it, and that one makes calculation easier. So we are going to look at some examples to explain this, and then let's have a look at how that one works. So let's look at examples. Suppose you have small one, 18 minus 9. Using the method I talked about, we are going to say 18 minus 10 gives you 8, and in this case we are going to add then after 8, so the next stage is like 8 plus 1, so you have 9. So that's how you make the calculation more easier. So how about if you have 27 minus 9. So first of all, you just say 27 minus 10, so you have 17, and then 17 you add 1. That one gives you 18. So this is how you mentally calculate in your head, and things and your calculations goes very fast when you do subtraction. Okay. So let's do a last one for this case. So how about if you have 87, minus 8? So what's the answer? So in this case we are going to say 87 minus 10, so that one gives us 77. But we know that the difference between 10 and 8 is 2. So we are going to say here we have 77 plus 2. So we have 79 as our answer. Okay, so like I said, this is a way to mentally subtract numbers from your head, and everything goes very quickly and faster. So maybe let's take another one like minus 3. So let's say the same 87 minus 3. So in this case I will still do, I could say, like, quickly say, okay, I know 7 minus 3 is equal to 4, so it would be like 84. But just because I'm trying to illustrate how to use this method and how this rule works, so let's just allow me to go the long way. So I'm going to have 70. 87 minus 10. So here I have 77, and then 77, then I have to add the difference between 10 and this is 7. So this one still gives me 84. So with this way of calculation, you are likely to quickly subtract numbers. Okay, so let's try another, like, bigger numbers now and see how that one works. How does that one function? So suppose we now have 52 minus 29 as our first example. So here also we are going to make this one 29 a whole number, and then we know that is 29, so we are going to subtract that 9, like 10, and then because we have a difference here of 1, we are going to add it to the answer. So we are going to promote this one to be 30, so we're going to say 52 minus 30, which gives us then 22. And because we promoted 29 to be 30, we know it's less 1, okay? So we're going to have 22 minus 22 plus 1, which is going to be 23. Yeah, so like that you get your answer and you're done. Another big example, let's say you have 521 plus 697. So in this case also we know that the difference between the whole number here is only 3 to make this number 700. So what you're going to do immediately, we are going to promote this one to 700, and we know the difference is 3. I added, okay, sorry. So, for example, let's look at another example and see. So, if you have here 521 minus 497, and you want to get an answer. Now, you can see that 497 is only less 3 for it to be 500. So, we will promote this one to be 500. And then we are going to say let's say 527, then subtract 500 immediately. So that one gives you 27. But because 27 is here is less 3, so we're going to, because we have here 7, so we're going to say 27 here, then plus 3. So we have here 30 as the answer. And that's how subtraction can be made easier. Okay? So, I have another way of explaining, but mostly subtracting whole numbers. So, subtracting whole numbers. Now, suppose you have, let's say, 100, and you are supposed to subtract 23 on it, from it. There is something called sutra, Vedic sutra. There's a method, I think it's an Indian way, I think Indian way of doing a calculation. So normally what they say is like the unit digit you subtract here 10, the second one you subtract from 9, and here you subtract from, you subtract 1 from here, from the farthest number. So in that case, if I want to subtract this one, I will not even think I have this whole number like 100. So basically 3 I will subtract from 10, which will give me 7, and 2 I will subtract from 9, which will give me 7, and without looking I know that 1 minus 1 should be 0, so this should be the answer. So if you know this, it will help you a lot, because there are also some calculations, like some multiplications that you can use, and this one comes automatically. So let's look at another number. Let's say 1000, and let's say now we want to subtract 551. So automatically I will not even think about anything. I will say, okay, here the unit digit I should subtract from 10. So 1 I should subtract from 10, which is 9. The rest is 9, 9, and then the last one minus 1. So here I know is 4, here I know is 4, and here is 0, because 1 minus 1, then it becomes like that. So again, if you have, for example, 20 minus 17, okay, so here again I will do sutra, and I will know, okay, here I have here 3, okay, and here will be because I already borrowed 1, so here it's going to be basically 0 if you subtract. So, or even if you have 10,000, subtract 6,527. In this case, you use sutra, Vedic sutra, and it goes automatically here, and then 9, 9, 9. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to write 3, 7, 4, 3, without thinking about carrying forward and other things. So I have my answer here as 3,000, and I just use this one as my guideline. So the first number here I subtract from 10, the rest 9, and the last one I subtract 1 from that. Okay, so that's how it is. And sometimes you can use like bigger numbers, like 500, or let's say 5,000. You want to subtract 125. So the same, the last number here 5, 10, the rest 9, so the rest 9, 9, so you have 7, you have here 8, and then here you subtract 1, okay? So if you subtract 1 from here, you have 4. You are done. So when you're doing subtraction, you don't even think I don't even think in terms of like what to carry forward, but this gives me a shortcut or like a skill or a strategy that helps me calculate without thinking about carry forward and what is still remaining and everything. So that's something that I also thought that you should learn. The last thing about subtraction that you should know that I also that will also help you with is this one. So there comes a times when you have to subtract numbers that, let's say for example, numbers that are below 200. You have to subtract numbers that are below 100 from numbers that are below 200 but above 100, okay? So assume you have here 167 minus 89. So in this case, the most important thing that I would do to make everything looks easier would be I would take a reference number, which I think is 100. So I'll take 100 because 100 is in the middle and 167 is 67 more, so this is positive 67, and here is minus 11, because 100 minus 89 is 11 and 167 minus 100 is that. So anyway, if I want to get my answer, I will basically just add 11 to here, and then I have 78 as my answer. So that means let's try another one. So 186 minus, let's say minus 74. And I have 100 as my reference number. So here, above 100 is 86. Okay? Below 100 is 26. You just add up that, and then you have the answer to 186 minus 74. Okay? So here you have you have 112 as the answer. Yeah. And you can also try another one. Let's say 169 minus then, let's say 94. So the same strategy works. I will take here 100 as my reference number. Above 100 is 69. Below 100 is 6. So what do I have there? I have 75 as my answer. Okay? So like that, you can use the same method to do most of your subtraction, and everything becomes easier and easier and faster you can do this. So thank you so much for listening. If you like what we're offering here, please subscribe and share. And until next time, bye.